A warm welcome from Amsterdam, and thanks for tuning in to a new episode of Game Consultant. Your host of today is Reinout.
Hello and welcome to an episode of Game Consultant. It's my first episode where I actually do an interview, so stay tuned. What is this episode about? Well, you could actually guess it. It's about the coronavirus and events. I've been saying that it's a shame that events are being cancelled, but I also said that we need to look at the organizers behind it because they take quite a loss. I had an article that I shared. It's, I think, over $1 billion of losses that are being made by GDC, Google I/O, Facebook events, the Unities, etc., etc. And Michael Liebe, he reached out to me. He's organizing the Games Week in Berlin. That's why it's called GamesWeekBerlin. And we were chatting a bit over the email. And then I said, you know what? Let's have a chat. And that's what we did. So you're about to listen to an interview I just did. And I find it very interesting, and I would love to get more comments from people that organize gaming events. What do they think? And what to expect in the rest of this year? Are there too many game events? And should we consider online game conferences? It's not an and or, maybe both can hand in hand go together as we speak. So I'm going to start with the interview. So right now I have Michael Liebe, if I say it right. And Michael did reach out to me. He's organizing the Games Week Berlin. And in the last couple of episodes, we have been discussing the gaming events. Lots of events are being cancelled. So first of all, Michael, can you tell a little bit more about yourself and directly after about your event?
With a pleasure, thanks. So I'm based in Berlin. I have a company, it's called Booster Space. I founded the company in 2014, and the Games Week Berlin is more or less the reason of existence for the company. But we also run work for hire projects in the VR scene. So we do virtual reality events in the second half year, and workshops, and I'm also consultant for Kickstarter, the crowdfunding platform, where I represent Kickstarter here in Europe. And Games Week Berlin is happening normally every April. For many years, it's Europe's longest running event. Is part of it the Quo Vadis conference, which came to Berlin in 2007, and since then was running every April in Berlin. And Games Week Berlin grew to become an umbrella brand connecting. In our peak times, we had like 20 events in the same week, all under the umbrella of Games Week Berlin. But now we took over Quo Vadis last year as a company, so we took over the brand and event format from Computec Media end of 2018, and since then we are working on consolidating the Games Week Berlin to be more like one event instead of 20 different events at different locations. So this is our current goal, but still we keep the spirit of connecting different verticals of the industry. So we have the developers, the publishers, investors, but also with our format Womanize, we target emerging female talent. With GameFest, we open up the doors to families and gamers and fans of gaming. And with Amaze, we still have the art experience and the more creative and artistic participants of our industry involved. And thanks to joint parties and ticket combination opportunities, we want to mix all of these different verticals. That's our unique approach with Games Week Berlin.
Cool. And as for the attendees, is that international? It's Games Week Berlin, or is it German driven, or is it more international?
So the B2C event is pretty local, but we also have people coming from Switzerland or whatever, or Poland, but it's mainly for Berliners. The B2B part, the Cuvalis and Womanize especially, it's like 50-50. It became more and more German over the years, sort of back to its roots, and we were in the middle of internationalizing again up until now. Our goal is to be 80-20, like 80% international and 20% German.
Okay.
The Amaze Festival is pretty international.
Got it. And as we've been discussing already, GDC has been postponing. Lots of other events have basically cancelled. The coronavirus is a hot topic. What's your take on that? How are you looking at the event and the same time at the spreading virus?
Yeah. When I first heard of it, that was end of last year, right? Or was it earlier this year? I don't remember. With the outbreak in Wuhan. I thought, okay, what the fuck's happening? But didn't see anything coming sort of as a global danger. So we just observed it as any other news, but didn't really think about it. But then more and more news popped up with the virus spreading across the globe, and that actually then when it came to Europe via northern Italy, that was one turning point on our internal awareness. And then we closely saw, what was it? Which event was cancelled before GDC?
What's happening? Well, at the same time, many the Google I/Os.
In Berlin, there was the ITB, the International Touristic Show, and GDC. That was pretty much in the same time frame. And we were like, okay, there's something coming. We need to observe it. If GDC is canceling, we have a problem, sort of. And if ITB is canceling, we have an even more serious problem because it's in Berlin. So GDC was our indicator for the games industry and ITB for Berlin. And but still we thought, okay, it's like now and people are overreacting and being a bit too cautious. And the GDC news were first like the big corporates, what you also had in your podcast, like the big international companies telling their people not to go, right? Which is standard policy, or not standard, but foreseeable policy. And then, of course, the value of GDC diminished day by day, and then, I don't know, their internal reasons why they cancelled. But
it's mainly health for employees that they're concerned about and can understand. I mean, definitely in the US on the legal side. But if you look at it today, I mean, I also found that article where they said it's what was it, $1 billion loss on all the tech events that have been cancelled or will be cancelled. What does it mean for an event organizer when you have to make such a decision? I mean, are sponsors then being informed like, okay, we're not going to do this? Obviously, a lot of people are talking about refunds. Can you describe a bit what you will face?
Good question. So when we first started considering, okay, we will be like impacted. First thing was we talked with the location, the venue. That said, the venue isn't the highest cost factor in an event, but it's substantial still, as it's whatever. So we contacted them and asked them, okay, what happens if we cancel? Then they said, you have a contract, you need to pay 80%. Then I called my insurance company. Hey, there's this Corona thing, blah, as you know, we might need to cancel. What's going to happen? Yeah, well, pandemics are not part of the insurance policy. It's bad luck. We won't pay anything. The only opportunity would be that if the government prohibits you to run the event, then at least the location cannot pull through with their contract. So then I wouldn't be obliged to pay them. It would be a big cost factor. But at the moment, nobody is officially in Germany or Berlin especially saying you're not allowed to run events. So the risk is completely on you as an organizer. And I always say it's like double minus, because A, everybody wants their money back, and B, you still need to pay your team, your service companies, your agencies, and the venue. So it's minus 200% and not just a loss. And this is super high risk, not only for me, for all the event organizers out there. And that's also why everybody is postponing and not canceling, or most people are postponing and not canceling, because at least, you have some locations where they say, okay, if you do it later in the year, we still work together, so it's okay, you don't need to double pay. Or the ticket holders, it's like at a music concert. If it's postponed, your ticket stays valid, but if you cannot attend at the new dates, okay, you get it reimbursed, but that's like only 10% usually you need to reimburse. So the risk is a lot lower. I mean, if you postpone, and the financial loss potentially is lower. But still it will be there. And I just before the interview got the numbers from the touristic board here in Berlin, and that was also my estimate on my ticket loss. They said there's a decline in 51% on traveling to Berlin, and there's a complete stallment on bookings, on new bookings for hotels and whatever it is in Berlin.
I guess that that will count also for other cities like London, Amsterdam. I guess, Then one thing pops up. These days, you have the offline events, as I call them. I always did ask to some online conferences. Yeah, it's nice, but I would like to see people shake hands, which we shouldn't do right now. But at least, you give someone a tap on the shoulder and you said, hey, that's a long time ago. How are you doing? And you get these nice conversations, which, you can do also via video conference, et cetera, but it's different. I have been participating in a few recently with, for example, BizTech. I really enjoy it. I get feedback from people to what I'm saying, but also I'm listening to panels. For the future, is this something maybe it shouldn't be an and or? Could it be an and where you do an offline event, but at the same time, for example, people that can't attend because of schedule or whatever reason, would it be interesting for event organizers to also maybe have a 1 hour or every day a 1 hour online conference where if you invite certain speakers or keynote speakers, that they can also be available for a small conference, but then online? Is that something that you could foresee?
Yeah. So my business forecast last year was that I saw a trend going into more local, smaller events.